Good morning. Welcome back again to Spiritual Growth Tarot and a little bit of astrology with these readings. I'm using Jamie Sawyer's Out of Hand Tarot. I love this deck. For the personal portion, we're using this deck. And then, whoa, well, there we go. That one's coming out right. Whoa, we have the Tower. Okay. I left the cards straight up, but I'll read them both ways, and you guys can decide which applies to you for the day. This is for Sunday, November 27th. The moon is conjunct Pluto, exactly, early this morning, 6 a.m. Pacific time. So there aren't any other harsh aspects to it, to the moon, until it hits Saturn, which won't be till Monday. But anyway, moon conjunct Pluto is challenging enough, but it is in a sextile, double sextile to Neptune and Jupiter. So it makes for very powerful connections to your spiritual self and to your healing abilities. So the way I read the Tower when it comes to soul growth, I read it as a breakthrough to the real self. Now, we can see in this, and it's ruled by Mars traditionally, but I always, there's Mars there, I always add Uranus as well because of that sudden lightning bolt up there at the top. So sudden movement, and but in this deck, she's throwing out his stuff. And he's down at the bottom going, oh, man, right? She's had it. So it could be that some of us have had it with someone. And, later on there's going to be a lot of forgiveness that needs to happen, but it takes time. But if this isn't a relationship issue for you, it could definitely have to do with the breakthrough of the false self, and now your real self is, well, either way, her real self is showing, right? There's nothing better than the real self. Real self, higher self. Real self is our human self, our human soul, and our higher self is our spiritual, real self. So you combine those two together on Earth, and you've got it going on. Now, if the Tower had come through reversed, this could be a fear of letting go, a fear of change, like avoiding the transformation that needs to come. But for some people, it's avoiding a loss. So for some people, it's not safe to get away yet. If this guy down here were abusive, you can't just throw him out. You have to get yourself out of the situation. Okay, so then with the Six of Swords, now, this is an interesting thing that came through. I've always seen this card as being Mercury in Uranus, or I'm sorry, Mercury in Aquarius, ruled by Mercury in Aquarius. She has Venus in Aquarius there on the passport, so I don't know if it was just a little bit of a mistake in the printing, because, we're all human, and that's one of the things I love about artwork and artistry. It doesn't have to be human. So I just wrote it there on the hand. But if you buy this deck and yours doesn't come like this, or maybe she corrects it, I don't know. I love her anyway. I don't care if there's a mistake. This is our card of moving to safer places, getting out of the the emotional turbulence and moving to a safer place. But there's a lot of travel involved there. That's why she has the passport. It's our immigration card. This very much has to do with travel. So if some of you are traveling again, like yesterday, there was the possibility of a little bit of travel snafus, It could be big changes due to travel plans that are causing a little bit of trouble, but it works out later. The Six of Swords, it works out later. Now, if we were to read this in the reverse, well, then we would be having major travel problems and maybe stuck in a, more than what do they call it when you're, I forget, you see, you guys, I haven't been on a plane in years with COVID and everything else, and I had like no desire. I've had so many awful travel situations on planes that I just don't, I have no desire. I tend to road trip it. But what do they call it when you're laid back, whatever. My brain is not getting the word for some reason or another. But, when you're held back and you can't, maybe even it's rescheduled to the next day, right? There's that possibility because we have big change here. And it could be out of your control if it's a travel situation. Let's see what else is coming through. Oh, but then it all works out with the Nine of Cups. See, now that's one of the things you never know. When travel issues go not as planned, you can wind up having a connection with someone that's very lovely that you wouldn't have had. And in this situation, it could be doing some shopping at the airport or shopping in the town you're stuck in or hanging back and having some fun with your family because you can't get on that plane. Maybe you can't go yet. Now, if the Nine of Cups were to come through reversed, of course, this would be the a little bit, not always a complete opposite, but just a little bit of trouble where there could be a little bit of a loss of, it could be a little bit of a financial loss. If this is to do with traveling, it'll work out, but, it could be a little costly. Then again, with the Nine of Cups, I see this, it could be someone who travels with just an overnight bag and they don't, carry on only, will get through the airports much, much more easily if there is a rescheduling. But yeah, but it looks good. Nine of Cups is our wishes fulfilled card. So no matter if it's fulfilled to the max or not, if it's reversed, it might not be as, as fulfilled. But I mean, in the worst case, the Nine of Cups reverse could be, somebody who's just overdone it with food and not feeling good, feeling stuck. Just don't beat yourself up if there's anything going on, is all I have to say. Just breathe through it, let it flow through, no matter what. Yeah. On another level, if this is a guy you kicked out because he was an addict, things are going to go well. If travel isn't involved in its relationship, it could be that you're done. Now, it could be that you're done with an addiction to somebody who's not good for you, and you're moving forward. I like that. Okay, because we all know relationships can definitely be tricky, right? Okay, so I am going to use the maybe Lenormand again, and this time let me set the book over here. This time I'm checking into Elon Musk. And I think I'll open it up outside. Well, no, actually, I'm going to, let's keep it because it's only 10 cards. It's not like it's a grand tableau. Let's look at only his relationship with Twitter. Because I did Twitter yesterday. In case you missed that video is already up. But you'll have to fast forward into about halfway through. So Elon Musk and his effect on Twitter, his let's say, his future based on his actions and his effect on Twitter. Oops, this one's popped out already. Ooh, that's challenging there with the clouds. When it comes to a character reference on somebody and you get the clouds, it's about one of the worst cards there are. Okay, let me draw the other 9 cards this way. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 9, and I will take the 2 off the bottom for later. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is him, because this is his card. So the clouds. So it could be either that he's hiding things, or he's in the dark side of the clouds is facing him. So it's going to get worse. His something to do with commitments. People probably committed to him. The goals that he, oops, what am I doing? The goals that he has had, his ability to anchor in is a great burden. Now, this is his effect on Twitter, and because of what he's done in the past. So he has burdens, and there's guilt. There's major guilt that he has to own, because he's definitely the problem. Ooh, and then the mice, we have loss. And here we have the Twitter card, and he bought Twitter. Boy, these cards couldn't line up any better. And we had this card in for the Twitter read itself, the future Twitter, big breakup. Seduction with the rose, attraction. Whoa! And then that's so funny. I just heard I just heard a bird out the window here. They talk to me sometimes. Okay, so this has to do with foreign influence here, but then also the movement of, and it could be his entrepreneurial, quest, which he is major, pretty much has done what he's wanted all his life. I mean, he's had that financial support. He was born into wealth. But he's done very well on his own. I have to give him credit. But anyway, where's my chopstick? Here we go. Okay, so with the whoa. With the broken mirror, the shattered reality, which is his burden, knighting here, and his, he's up here in control of everything, but the darkness is not going to go away. The darkness, well, at least we see, he is having to look into the mirror, if he will. Nothing will get a rich person better than their money, right? That's how you get that's the thing. So when it comes to relationships are mirrors. And so if we have trouble with our relationships, we have trouble with our bosses, we have trouble with anybody that's has some control over us, it's always an issue to work through on our own. But when you're a boss, you work out your relationship with your employees, with your coworkers, or your, what do you call supervisors, things like that, the people under you, and it takes you longer, and it's much harder to get into that, looking into your own mirror to figure out what's going on. So what I see here is darkness, and it's broken up to, I think, he's going to break up some problem. He's the problem. With the burden here, this is a painful breakup for him that's going to continue on. And with the ship headed away, I can't say where it's headed in the future, really, except that he may have ruined it, or maybe he'll sell it. He may sell it, but we have a loss for Twitter because of this fractured reality that is Elon Musk. This is him. All of this is him. And major loss when it comes to the mice. But then again, maybe this is something like, is it possible that he consciously did something like this for some reason to create some, it doesn't make sense to me that he would do something like that. So I don't know, but a loss of commitment to people overseas, a loss of commitment to people who will invest, a loss of follow through and alliances with others who were on the same vision, on the same quest as he is. A loss of experience an experience he did not want to have. Major investment loss here. And so this is affecting him in a very negative way. These are awful, awful cards to have. To have the clouds and the mice in one reading, and the this card is probably about the worst one. But to have these 3 cards in the same reading, with only 10 cards here, this is awful. He's sunk because of his attracted, he's attracted to some type of, this is how we heal. He's been attracted to this breakup situation. He's been through a few wives too, hasn't he? I think he has like 8 kids between all the women, but yeah. I shouldn't be judgmental, but, I see pictures of these women he's been with, and I'm like, whoa. Especially the one he's with now. I don't even know if it's like is he married now? I don't even know. I mean, who can keep up? I don't really care. But he is the problem. He is the seducer that thinks he can attract whatever he wants, but it's under a great burden right now. It's not going to go well for him in the future. And having this card come through twice in both readings, and the anchor come through in both readings, that's challenging. And this is him. This is him, the seducer, but he's under a great burden, and his alliances are leaving him. Maybe they're going to take a dump on Twitter as they leave. I've got the little mouse poops I drew in there to remind us. Mice just don't come and steal your cheese and eat things. They poop as they go. My goodness. See, that's the problem. When it comes to finances, we're talking, with these cards, we're talking like a bankruptcy type of situation. Whoever invested, they're not going to like that. But then again, these guys are so filthy rich, they just write it off in their taxes. What was at the bottom? Hold on. Oh boy. Yeah, we can expect some repetitive, immature, childlike behavior with him. And with him, because this reading is all about him, I doubt he had an abusive childhood, except for if you're never told no, that's a form of abuse on its own. Most people don't understand there are many, many, many forms of an abusive childhood. I mean, neglect is an abuse. And a lot of kids, growing up, they don't see it as it's like, oh, my parents never hit me. But he may have been spanked, But just neglect is abuse. But this is something here. This is like a repetitive child. Oh, maybe he's going to have more kids. Maybe whoever he's with is pregnant again, or pregnant. Maybe I mean, that's the thing. I don't know. The only thing I remember seeing in the news before is that he had 8 kids. Yeah. This is troubling though. When it comes to immaturity, this is not good. He just, yeah, maybe there's some mental health issues. I don't know. But anyhow, I think I've said enough for this reading. It's gone way longer than I meant to. So big hugs, you guys. Take good care. Bye.